Okay, so this is kind of like not organized as well as I wanted. It might be, but I kind of had a lot of thoughts and just threw them into a PowerPoint. I also talk really fast, so if you want me to slow down, just let me know because I don't even realize it. So I'm going to share my screen. If I can remember how. Start share. You see me? See it? Perfect. Okay. Okay, so I have a couple quotes in here because, I don't know, I think quotes are always really, they pump me up because they're so true usually, and I'm literally covered it. Oh, so in order to succeed, your desire for success should be greater than your fear of failure, which is really important, I feel like, in this business, you guys, because it's a hard business. We have very simple daily tasks, but it's hard. Me and Megan, like, cry and vent to each other, like, weekly because it's hard and we've been doing this for a long time, but we both have that drive to succeed, and so we're able to pump each other back up, pump ourselves back up, and we know that we want this success and we're not just going to let one small failure get us down. Sorry, my lights just went out. They're being weird. So just know that you guys really have to want this, otherwise it's not going to work for you because it's hard. So if you let it bring you down, it's going to bring you down. And no matter if you're a discount coach, not really a discount coach, but a hobby coach, or if you want this to be really a career, you can still take what I'm saying and put it into use. Obviously, if you're more of a hobby coach, it's not going to be as much as full force or whatever, but everything is still true because this is a business and we can't just not treat it like a business. Otherwise, it's never going to go. Oops. Okay, so I want you guys to ask yourself some questions about this business. So think about what do you want? What do you want from this business? Because if you don't know what you want, you're never going to get there. So what do you want from this business? Do you want part-time, full-time? Do you want to pay off your car bill? Do you want to make $1 million? You can literally do as much or as little as you want in this business, but you have to decide because otherwise you're just never going to get there because you don't know what you're shooting towards. So you have to ask yourself, what do you want out of this, and how much time are you willing to put there? Some people work 5 hours a day. Some people work 20 minutes a day. Some people work an hour every other day. You just have to know how much time you're willing to put into it, and as long as that amount of time is matching up with your goals, it's going to be all good. But you have to know that, because if you think you want all these big goals and you're only willing to put in an hour twice a week, it's probably not going to work. So you have to make sure that we're matching up with what we want. And like I said before, really, do you want this long term as a hobby, which is totally fine if you do. There's nothing wrong with that. A ton of people do this as a hobby, and even if you say a hobby, you can still make a good income out of it and make enough to, pay some bills or pay off debt. That doesn't mean that, you're not making money, but there's a difference between wanting it to be your full-time career or just something on the side. So make sure you know really what you want, and don't just say you want it to be a career if in your heart you have, a desire to do something else, because it's conflicting and it's just not going to work if your head and your heart aren't really on the same page. So make sure that you really dig deep and think about this, and don't just say it because I want you to do it for a career or Megan wants you to do it for a career. If it all depends on what you want. This business is 100% up to you, and that's the cool thing about it. Last thing, and this is huge, is why. Why do I want this? You guys have to have a why, and it has to be deeper than just I want to work from home. You have to have a deep why, or you will never work, because it's hard, like I said. So you have to have something deep. I know when I started, I thought it was super cool. I wanted to get free trips. I wanted to work from home. But now the further I get into it, I literally hate any corporate job I've ever had. I cannot, like, my anxiety is so bad that I just literally cannot do that. I don't want to have to leave my kids when I have kids and go to work. So that for me, I don't have kids yet, but that's a very big driving force for me because I don't want that. I hate leaving my dog when I nanny. So I can't even imagine leaving my kids. So that's huge for me. But if you don't have a big why, it's going to be hard to keep going on your hard days. But no, don't just make your why because of what you've heard. I know so many coaches have this why of I want to be a stay-at-home mom, which is awesome. And that's totally a huge goal for so many people, but maybe that's not for you. So don't just base your why off of other people. Make sure you're making it your own. And real, very personal and very real to you. So here are a couple other things on vision, mission, and your why again. So I've seen a call on this about a CEO before, and it was like really legit about like what a CEO does. But I didn't do that because I don't know. I don't really know what a CEO does that much. And I tried to research it and I was like, but you have to have a vision on where your life wants to go, a mission on where your business wants to go, and your own personal why. So think for a second. If you have a pen and paper, write it down. I'm serious. But like, think about your long-term vision of your life. Do you want to travel the world? Do you want to have a corporate job and have this on the side? Maybe you want to be a doctor and that's super cool and you just want to, help people on the side. That's totally fine. But I want you to have a vision for your life and just really think about long-term, what you want your life to be, not just in the business terms, but long-term, family-wise, work-wise, where you want to live, all this stuff. Do you want to travel? Having a vision is really going to help you set goals and get yourself there. Because my next one is, how can Beachbody help get you to your vision? Because it can. Doesn't matter what your vision is. This opportunity is so amazing that you can literally pretty much make your dream life out of it no matter what, unless you just don't want to do a thing and you want to sit on your butt all day. That's not realistic. It's going to take work, but you don't have to work 40 hours a week every week once you're later on. So just know that. Think about your vision and how that this opportunity can literally get you long-term to where you want to be. And again, why are you going to make this work? There's going to be hard days, you guys. I quit my serving job in January of 2017, and I was full-time coaching. Pretty much I had a couple side jobs, maybe 2 hours a week, but I was full-time all the way until November, and I started a full-time nanny job. And I'm going to tell you how hard it is when you go from full-time at home to full-time not at home, and then you're trying to do this full-time job also. If I didn't have a strong why, I would not be where I am, because it's hard. When I wake up, I work 13-hour days and I don't want to do my vitals because that's a long day. But I have this why. I don't want to have to work for someone else my whole life. And that literally keeps me going. So if you don't have a strong why, you've probably heard it a million times, but it's so important. And you have to know, because that's what's going to drive you when the days are hard. And like I said, you have to make it personal and emotional, because if it's just bland, if it's just something materialistic or something like that, it's not going to work. Last thing is a mission statement. I totally have one written down somewhere, and I know Megan said she did too, and I totally forgot to bring mine out. But businesses have mission statements. So what do you want the mission of your business to be? Are you really focused on helping people get out of debt or lose weight or stay at home with their kids or get, self-confidence? There's so many different things that Beachbody can do for people. And yes, usually it can do it all for some, but having your specific mission is super important. For one, finding the right customers, and two, just helping you stay on track with what you want to do. You have to know what you want to do with this business so that you can do it. Otherwise, you're just going to be working randomly and not really know what you're working towards. Okay, so it starts with you, you guys. This business 100% starts with you. I don't care what your goal is, but whatever your goal is, you have to make that decision. And I don't care if you don't know what you're doing or not. You just got to figure it out. Me and Megan both love our uplines, but neither of them are working as much as we are. So both of us had to be very resourceful, and we watch a ton of YouTube videos. I know we both do. We do trainings. We do our own things because it's not always going to be handed to us. And even though this sounds bad, but I mean, you guys both have us and we're going to be there for you, but you need to figure it out on your own, and you need to just make a decision that you're either going to make it work or you're not. And you just got to go and figure it out as you go. You also need to get your results. I think being a product of the product is one of the most important vitals that we have. I can tell you right now, I've been eating like shit since like summer, and I have gained weight, not a ton, probably like 5 pounds, but it's affected my business. I was killing it before when I was like almost popping abs. And people can just see that. They see that I'm not as I'm consistent with my workouts and stuff. But if you get your own results, people see that. They don't care about what top coaches are doing. They care about what you're doing, and they want to know that you're consistent with your own health. Otherwise, they're not, if you're not consistent with your health, how are you going to help them be consistent? So you need to get your own results, and you need to be sharing them. If you're not sharing your results, no one's going to see them. Why are they going to join you if they don't even think you can get your own results? So make sure you're working out, and nutrition is super important. I know it's really hard with the holidays, but with 80-day obsession coming up, it's super, super good opportunity to really go all in. I am so excited for this because I'm so ready to go all in and like cut out everything, all processed foods, no alcohol, nothing for the whole entire time. And I'm super excited to get awesome results because I know it's going to help my business so much. And on a side note, I know it's really, like for me, my boyfriend is not the best eater, and I'm sure that you guys either have people in your life like that or not, but just explain to them how your health is your business, and you really need to do this if you want your business to move forward. I know I tell my boyfriend that, like when I did Chef Shop, I'm like, I'm not doing anything for 3 weeks because this is my business, and so feel free to explain that to people because it really does help them see. Next. So your team's probably not going to outperform you. Like I said, not always, they can. But most likely, if you're hitting SC5, your coaches are going to hit SC2 or 3 or 4. But likely if you're hitting SC5, they're not going to hit SC5 or 10. They're going to be lower than you because that's just how it works. People, they're not setting goals higher than you typically. They're setting your goals, and they're probably not going to get there, or they're going to set lower goals because you're a leader and they look up to you, so they don't think they can do as much as you. So make sure you're leading by example. And if you want your team to hit SC5, you need to hit SC10 or SC20 because you need to be an example, and you need to show them that they can do it. If I hit SC20, I believe that my coaches are like, oh man, she helped 10 people this month. I can find 3. You know what I mean? So you need to show them that it's possible, and you need to lead by example. And if you're not hitting Success Club every month, that should be a non-negotiable. And I feel like it's been kind of a hard time of year. I've been struggling in my own business, but then again, it doesn't matter. I've pulled it off every month. And it's just a non-negotiable. I literally have been sending way more messages than normal because it's been a hard time. And I think I just hit SC6 today. I don't know yet. I don't know if she's answered me. I was just talking to that girl. But you just need to hit a Success Club. It's a non-negotiable. And if you want to move your business forward, if you're not helping 3 people a month, you're not going to go anywhere. So just know that. And last, let me look before I get any of this. Okay, so last, you really need to focus on growing your business, your personal business. Helping your coaches is super important, and I'll touch more on that in a little bit, but you cannot stop recruiting and stop expanding your own business if you have 2 builders, because those 2 builders probably aren't going to be there in a year. So never stop working on your own personal business to help your coaches. Super important. I've watched calls on people that have done that. They're like, I didn't really keep recruiting because I had these people, and next thing you know, they're back to a normal coach when they were 3-star, because people don't always keep going. So you need to keep working on your own business always. Okay, so goals. Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, do your goals and your vision match? If you want to make $1 million by 2020, you need to have bigger goals than hitting SC5 every month. That's just how it is. If you guys have these big goals, and maybe you're new, and that's totally fine. You can start with SC5 if you're brand new. But if you're getting into this and you've been a coach for a while and you have this huge vision, you have to have goals, monthly, weekly goals that match that. Because if you know what I mean, if you have these small goals and you have this big vision, how are you going to get to that big vision with these small goals? Not saying you can't, but it's obviously going to take a lot longer. And next, this is like so silly. SMART goals, I know that it's like you've probably heard it since first grade, but it's so true. You need to have goals that are SMART. What does that mean? Specific. So don't just say, I'm going to help some people this month. No, I want that to be a specific number. I don't want you to say that I'm going to post more this month. I want you to say I'm going to post 2 times every single day. Your goals need to be specific because otherwise they're not going to be measurable, which is the second one. You have to be measurable, and that pretty much goes with specific. Achievable. So if you've never hit Success Club, you probably don't want to just say you're going to hit SC20. Not that that can't happen. It can, but it's not likely. So if you've never hit Success Club, start with 5. If you've hit Success Club 5 months in a row, go for 10. So up your goals a little bit every month, or as soon as you start achieving them, up a little bit every month, but don't just all of a sudden go from 0 to 100 and think that's going to work, because it's probably going to discourage you. If you have a goal of SC5 and you hit it on the 5th of the month, then you can up your goal and then you can go for more, but don't set your goals too high that they're going to discourage you. And that's also with realistic, pretty much the same thing, and then timely. So make sure you have a time on your goal. If you're shooting for diamond, set a date. Break it down. I struggle with this. I'm really bad at setting timely goals other than like hitting SC10 every month or whatever. I really need to focus on my rank goals more timely, and I need to break them down like it says later on. But if you have a big goal, if you need help with your goals, 12-Week Year is really, really good book. But if you have this big goal of, being an elite coach in 2018 and you don't break it down, all of a sudden it's going to be October and you're going to be a diamond coach still. Trust me, that was me this year. I did that. I didn't break down my goals. I didn't give myself a good enough plan. So make sure that your goals are realistic and that you are able to break them down, even for just monthly goals. I haven't done this in a while, but I need to start doing this. This is why I love doing calls, because it totally reminds me of all the things I need to do. But if you want to hit SC20 in January, break that down into each week. How many people are you going to help each week instead of just the whole month? Because otherwise it's so hard, and by the time, it's just like crunch time. You run out of time because you just aren't able to keep up. So break down your goals. How are you going to get there? How many people are you going to help per week, per month? Work on that. Like I said, 12-Week Year is a really good book, and I definitely recommend reading it. I read it twice, and I like to read it every few months because it's really good. I haven't implemented it as much as I should, but it's a good book. Like I said before, your goals need to drive you. So if you've hit SC5 for 5 months in a row, don't keep hitting SC5. Don't make that your goal. Put it higher, because it's not going to drive you to do more, and you need to keep doing more every month. Once you get comfortable, I know Megan and I both hit SC10 now for a whole year, and we should probably up our goals a lot, Megan, because here we are like struggling to SC10 and we're all stars, so that's just silly. So we both need to get our goals up there, but I know we've been in the past, we've set goals of SC40 and then we hit SC12 and then it discourages us. So we need to find that balance of not going from 10 to 40, but maybe 10 to 15 or 10 to 20. So it's realistic and doable, and it's not going to discourage us, but it's going to drive us to get there. And last, just like I talked about earlier, please, you guys, this is so important. I don't care whether it's your kids or your roommate or your spouse or whoever, you need to talk to them about your goals. It's not an easy business, and the support from your spouse isn't always going to be there. whether they are or not, just telling them what your goals are, why you need to work, at certain times, or why you need to do this. It'll help them realize and help them hopefully be on the same page as you. So it's a little less stress for everyone. So like I said, just make sure your goals aren't too big, but they're not too small. You're able to break them down. They drive you, and you can explain them to the people so that they understand why you're doing what you're doing. And it's not like you're just sitting on your computer all night, not doing anything. Okay, so next. So this is your business. You need to set business hours. I was really good about this before. It's kind of hard now. My schedule's kind of whack. But if you set business hours, it goes really well, like I said before, with talking to your spouse. I know Megan and I just talked about this. She just had a good conversation with Tyler about when she's going to be working and when she's not. And so that's really, really going to be helpful in your relationships and just your own mental health. I know for me, like, I used to just every time I got a message, I'd go respond right away. But that's not good. And I'm not focused, and I'm doing other things. I'm multitasking, and I forget to respond. So set business hours and work during those hours. Don't get distracted during those hours. And when you're done, you're done. Go spend time with your family. Not that that can't ever be flexed. You're likely going to have to change it from time to time because you have to be flexible around your people. But setting business hours is really important. And I know that's something I need to work on. Organizing, get some sort of organization system down so you're not losing people, falling between the cracks. There's a million different tracking systems, which could be a whole call on its own. But find something that works for you and just get your life organized, because it's a lot. I have like 500 notebooks that I have had in the past, and I still have them because I have notes in all of them from different stuff. But now I keep them all in one, so I don't have a million I go to. So just get organized, and it'll really help you stay on track. Time management, that's with anything in life. Put your phone away, turn it off, whatever you need to do. Get a babysitter, but don't waste your time. Don't sit down for an hour and only spend 5 minutes of it working. That gets you nowhere. And just learning how to manage your time in any business, but you are the CEO of your business. So you need to manage your time, and you need to figure out how it's going to work. If you need to do your stuff in 10-minute power pockets, or if you need to have 2 power hours a day, it doesn't matter. Whatever works for you, but figure it out and make it work. Training. So everyone on here, that's awesome. You're on the trainings. Most of you guys, I feel like, that are on here, we have the same like 6-ish people every week, and that's awesome. And I'm hopeful that the people who aren't on these live are watching the recordings. When I was a new coach, I loved getting on my team calls. It was like the highlight of my week. I was so excited. I love learning. It was so awesome. And if I missed it because I had to work or something, I like watched the recording as soon as it was out. We don't do these for fun, you guys. I enjoy doing them. Don't get me wrong, but we don't do these for ourselves. We do them for you. So take advantage of it. And not just these trainings, but Super Saturday is coming up. That's a training. Summit is not coming up, but it's going to be here before you know it. And that's huge. And if you really want this business to work, you guys really need to be at those events. And you really need to be on these trainings. And you really need to be diving into your own trainings too, because you might need to work on something other than we're talking about. So go YouTube it. There's 5 million videos, or go on the Beachbody Champion page and search it. And I promise you'll find some awesome trainings. Vital behaviors. There's 4 of them. You should know them, and you should do them every single day. If you are not doing all 4 of them every day, then I don't know what to tell you, but you're not acting as a CEO. They're not always easy. Personal development, I used to struggle with a lot. Now I die if I don't do it. Being a product of the product, again, it's more than just working out, but actually following the meal plans and all of that. It's super important. Recognition. This one I struggle with myself because I feel like I don't have that many people to shout out, but that's awful of me to say because I have at least 5 new customers every month I can shout out. I have coaches. So I need to be able to recognize my team and recognize people because that's what we're all about. And inviting. If you're not inviting, on your page personally, people aren't going to come to you because they're not going to know that you have something to offer. So make sure you're doing the 4 vitals, you guys. If you're not doing vitals, then you're not being a CEO, and that's all that there is to it. Be resourceful for questions. But again, like I said, if you guys feel like you need to work on something yourself that we haven't talked about or touched about, go YouTube it, you guys. There's so many resources available to you. As a coach, it's insane. There's literally 500 videos on inviting at least. So go watch them if you're struggling with that. And maybe you won't click with one, but watch another. There's so many resources. And if you're going to be a CEO and you're going to be successful, you need to be resourceful. And you also need to evaluate yourself every day, every week, every month, every year. One thing I heard, and I love that, is I try to ask myself this every day, and mainly how I base it is my time and if I did my 4 vitals. But if you were, every night before you go to bed, ask yourself, if you had a boss, today's work, would you be fired or would you still be working there? Because I know some days it's like, damn, if I had a boss, like I didn't do my shit. You know, I don't have a boss, so I'm not going to be fired. I'm just going to come to work tomorrow. But if you know what I mean, if you would have been fired, then you're probably not doing your stuff and you're not going to be moving forward. So just, we're not going to be fired, but we're also going to get nowhere if we're not doing it. So next, your team. This is super exciting. Part about the business is because you literally get to pick your team. You don't have to work with anyone you don't want to work with, kind of. But it's your team. You don't get to go get a job at Wendy's and pick who you're working with. But this job you do. You get to pick who's on your team. You get to pick your own team culture. Figure out what you want your team to be like. It can be anything, but it's probably going to be exactly who you are. You're going to have a bunch of little mirrors of you on your team. So figure out your team culture. Figure out who you want to work with. You don't have to make your own new systems, but make sure that you have them available to your team. Megan and I both have systems in place, and the Coach Online office has systems in place. So whether you want to use ours or Coaches, which are the Coach Online offices, they might be very similar on some and some might not, but find some systems that you can hand down to your team when they're ready. So you don't just sign up new coaches and now we don't know what the heck is going on because there's no systems. Your dream team. This is like one of my favorite things to do, and I haven't done it in a long time, but I want to do it before the new year kicks off, because finding your dream team is like my favorite thing ever. I have like people on my Facebook that I'm like, I want you on my team, and just like your person in your mind that you want on your team. You guys write that out. Write who you want to work without. And then write down people that you know that you want on your team. People, maybe you've worked with them in the past, or you just know that they're into fitness or they're hard workers, or you could just see them doing this. Write that down, you guys. List it out, because they could become your dream team. I was just looking through my old notes from literally 2 years ago, and I was looking through all of this. I literally saw my dream team from 2 years ago. None of them are on my team, but that's okay. It's still really cool, and it really helps drive me, and my dream team now would be completely different, but I'm in a different place now too, and I know that I'm working towards those people that are now on my dream team, and hopefully one day they will join. Last about your team is 80-20. How much time you spend on your team. Like I said, you cannot spend all of your time on your coaches because you have to grow your own business. And so if you're brand new, you're probably not going to spend 20% of your time on your coaches because you probably don't have any coaches or you don't have very many. But that's what the balance should be, about 80% of the time on your business and about 20% working with your coaches. Okay, so wrapping up a little bit, personal development. I'm going to hit this again because it's the one vital behavior that people think they don't need to do. And it's the one vital behavior that is going to allow you to succeed, because if your mind isn't there, you're not going to be there. It's a freaking hard business, you guys. It's hard. You're going to be discouraged, but personal development will help you get past that. And if you don't do your PD, you're going to get discouraged and you're going to quit, because I've seen it happen time and time again. People are like, I never did my PD. Well, no wonder you quit, because you never grew as a person. So just do your PD. be patient with the business. It's not going to happen overnight. A lot of times what you're doing today is going to show results in 30, 60, and 90 days later. So if you're a newer coach, you might not get a ton of results right away, but if you're doing the work now, you're going to get results in a month, and then again in 2 months, and then again in 3 months, because that's just how this works. Most people don't sign up on their first contact. They sign up after like 10 or something like that. So be patient. Don't just expect to make $1 million your first year. It's not going to happen. You're going to have to make sacrifices, you guys. You're going to have to cut out on Netflix or whatever you watch, whatever you do that kills all your time. You're going to have to make sacrifices, or if not, you're just going to be making excuses and it's not going to work. So sacrifices are important. They're going to be different for everyone. They don't have to be anything huge. It's not like you can't spend time with your boyfriend, but you need to know what your goals are and what sacrifices you're going to have to make to get there. Also, don't compare yourself to others. This is super hard because there's coaches making millions a year. There's coaches making $20 a year. There's you know what I mean? So you just can't compare. Everyone puts in different amount of time every week, every day. Everyone has different goals. So just don't compare yourself to other coaches. It's just not worth it, and it's not going to do any good. Last but not least, get a success partner. And I know that I've had like 2 or 3 or I don't know, a couple before Megan, and it just didn't work. So know that you're not probably going to find your perfect success partner right off the bat. But Megan and I started working together about a year ago, but I know for my personal sake, it's been a really hard year because we both have really big goals. And without her, I don't know where I'd be. But make sure you're being productive, because we've also gotten on calls and done nothing but bitch, and that does nothing good. So make sure you find a success partner. You know, don't marry them right away. If you find someone new, don't lock them down for the rest of your life, but try different people. People with similar goals, I recommend, because I think it's going to drive you. People say that you don't have to have similar goals, but that's up to you. Whatever works. But I know that we have a really good relationship, and it really helps both of us with our businesses. So just find a good success partner, because it's really worth it. And I have a last quote, because it's so true. We have these big dreams, but you guys, if you're not working with that big mindset and with that work ethic, you're not going to get there. So you cannot be working towards $1 million dream with a minimum wage work ethic. So that is all I have. Oh, wow, that took like way longer than I was expecting. I don't know how to unshare my screen. So, yeah.
At the top, Jamie, where you moved your little bar thing, it should say stop sharing.
I know, but I'm stuck on PowerPoint. I don't know what's going on. I literally am on PowerPoint right now. Zoom.
Can you close out a PowerPoint?
I got it. Hold on. Stop share. Good. Awesome. Cool. So does anyone have any questions at all?
Yeah, that was like freaking awesome and so true. And I have to say, and I hope I don't offend anyone, but if you're on this call right now and you don't have any dreams or you don't want to change your life, then this call was not for you 100%. Because these are the things that you have to be doing. And I've been in this business for a while, and I'm still writing all this stuff down. Like, what do you want out of this? I want all of my debt paid off. I want financial freedom. I never want to say we can't afford that. I want the freedom to be present with Blair whenever I want or need to be. Like, I wrote these things down. And the time that I put in, you know, I heard someone say once that's now a millionaire, I once worked 80 hours a week so that I didn't have to even work 40. And that is so true. The gym Tyler used to do his internship at, the people that once owned it, they quit, they sold their gym because their reasoning was they were network marketers. They said, why work 80 hours when we make 5 times more than that, only working 5 hours a week at our other business, right? So like that's what I want, and that's what I write down, and that's what I have in front of me every single day. And how are you going to get there? By doing everything that Jamie just talked about.
Well, you guys, you have to write it down. You can't just think it, but write it down and like hang it by your office, hang it by your desk, hang it by your bed, your mirror. I write my mirrors, have quotes on them. I like change it like monthly, just like business quotes, inspiring quotes, because I see it and it pumps me up. I'm like, Tyler wrote one on there right now, so it's kind of silly, but I used to have like, just really inspiring quotes every day, and I'm like in the bathroom, I'm like, I don't want to wake up, and I like read it, and I'm like, okay, let's go. Like, I've got this big dream, I've got this big goal, and I'm not going to get there if I sleep in. So you just have to, you guys, you really have to have this vision. That's really what it comes down to, because if you don't, you're not going to keep going.
Yes, exactly. And I had my why completely like written out. Like, this is my why. It's like a freaking book, but I read this every single morning for 21 days in a row. Why? Because it takes 21 days to create a habit. So for 21 days, the first thing I did when I woke up is I read my why, and then it just became a habit, and I still read it often. A couple things I want to highlight that Jamie said is, one, with the vital behaviors being product of the product. With that, you have to be a walking billboard. You can't just be talking the talk. You have to be walking the walk. You have to be living that life that you're putting out to people. And when you're sharing that, if it's not true to you, don't share it. I often have to reevaluate my page. I read things out loud. I'm like, does that really sound like me? Okay, I'm not gonna write stuff like that anymore, because that's not authentic. And what do I mean by that? I mean, say and do what you actually believe. I see too many people posting things that I'm like, I know that person, and I know that's not really them. And like, I see right through you, girlfriend. And so I have to remind myself of this often, because I'm not going to attract the people that I want if I'm putting all this fluff out there. That's not who I actually am. So yesterday, I finally broke down and I made a list of my 5. And if you're in my team page, you saw that I posted a video that I suggested you watch. And in there, they talk about your 5 things that are kind of, your favorite things. And one of them was coffee mugs. I'm obsessed with cute little coffee mugs. I've never shared that, because I'm like, that's stupid. That's just a stupid little thing. That post like blew up with all of my little coffee mug tribe people. And everyone's like, I got couple people that did like selfies with their coffee mugs and stuff. So make your 5 of things that, even if they're weird, if you're a Disney freak, if you like coffee mugs, if you like office supplies, stuff like that. I know Kelsey loves office supplies. She's a little office supply nerd. But share that stuff. You're going to find your tribe through the things that you like. Be authentic, though. Don't just do it because you have this vital, like Lindsay Matway is like God to me, but things that she's a big hair person. I can't do hair worth a shit. So I would never post about hair stuff, and then be resourceful. When I was finally starting to like break out of my shell and be like, okay, I actually want this to work because I see the potential and I'm envisioning myself, I spent like forever on YouTube. I would wake up 2 hours early and I would watch YouTube for an hour of like coach success stories or different trainings that I could find on YouTube. YouTube is a fantastic resource. She talked about, setting your goals and talking to your spouse about it or your roommate or whoever. Literally, that's kind of funny that you said that, because tonight, Tyler, he was prepping dinner before he had to go back to work. And I was like, oh, what's for dinner? And he goes, tater tot casserole. I'm like, I'm on some sort of diet right now. So then I brought out some chicken and I made a separate dinner, because I am doing something so that I can be a product of the product, talk the talk, walk the walk, and actually, do what I'm preaching to people. So I made a separate dinner. We don't do that all the time. Sometimes he accommodates with me, but tonight was one of those examples. Jamie talked about, setting the pace for your team. You have to build your team. Maybe you don't have one now, but you will. Mark my words, you will be running your own team. You will have this big, massive team behind you that you're going to stand front and center, and you're going to be so freaking proud of it. You're going to look back and you're probably going to cry and you're going to say, I did this. And I want you to picture it. Like, some nights I lay in bed and I seriously picture this team, Dauntless Dynasty, and we're all together and we're like just having the time of our lives. And I'm going to look back to when I had 0 coaches on my team, and I'm going to be like, I did that. I'm a person that failed at everything, and I freaking did that because I believed. And so have this vision, be the speed, go at the speed that you want your team to follow you at. Speed of the leader, speed of the pack. And I know I need to step my game up, and I know that you guys are going to step your game up.
Let me chime in quick because I don't know how I missed this. I don't know how I missed this, but you guys, belief was one of my main points, and I totally missed it. But you have to believe not only in yourself, obviously, but in the products and in the company. And it's hard sometimes, especially after this past year. People are leaving, and there's so many other MLMs, and people are winning cars in a week. But you guys, that's whether that lasts or not, it doesn't matter. I love Beachbody because it changed my freaking life. I was overweight my whole entire life, and I lost 7 pounds in a fucking week, you guys. Like, it changed my life, and so I have the most belief in this. My mom, like, literally tries to get me to sell her hair stuff. She does an MLM on hair. She literally just talked to me yesterday. I'm like, Mom, that's not my thing. It didn't change my life. I love Beachbody, and I don't care how hard it is or how long it takes me to get there. I am going to make this work because I love the products and I believe that it's going to work. So you have to have that belief, and it might not happen day one, but just keep going because it will.
Yes, and that's where personal development comes in. There are some days where I'll call Jamie or I'll text her and be like, can you talk right now? I don't believe that I can do it. And then I'll just pop on some personal development. I listen to 2 hours a day. It's recommended as 10 to 15 minutes. I do 2 hours because I need it in my life. Help me. And it just helps me believe I'm a better person in my business, with my family in general. And then the last little note I have here, is when Jamie said, you can't rely on people. So I signed up my first 2 coaches, or when I've got like a little bit of a solid foundation, and I stopped kind of recruiting coaches, and I was like, this person and this person are going to get me to the next level. And literally a week later, after I had talked to these people, and I'm like, okay, you're going to do this. I believe so much in you, because I believed so much in them, but I was putting too much time into them. I wasn't putting enough time in my own business. A week later, one of the girls quit, and she had told me for so long, she's like, I want this to work so bad. We worked pretty closely together. I never expected her to quit. So yeah, a lot of coaches that got me to where I am are no longer here. Replaced them with some people who actually want to be here. Okay, those who want to be here, who want to make it work, are gonna make it work. And you guys on this call are a prime example of that. And I'm so serious. You being on this call says a lot. And I notice it in your posts, in the volume that you produce, I notice it. Jamie notices it with her team. It's just, you put out a different vibe than those who don't get on these calls. That's it.
Can we just take a picture?
Yeah.
Okay. If anyone else wants to, because I feel weird when I'm the only one.
Got this. Got you.
Okay. Are you guys ready?
Beautiful.
Okay, well, that was way longer than I expected. I told my boyfriend, I was like, I'm probably gonna be down in 20 minutes because I talk really fast. So I'm happy you guys liked it. I was super nervous. I told Megan I made him take a shot with me before we started. Because I don't know, it's a really exciting topic, and that's why it makes me so nervous, because it's so true. So I hope you guys learned a lot, and next week we're doing a live power hour.
Yes.
So get on. We'll guide you through the whole hour. What you should do, 10 minutes of this, 20 minutes of that, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be really exciting. Like Megan said in her page, find someone to watch your kids, husband, whatever, put them to bed so you can work and you don't have to hold your little baby even though he's so cute. But yeah, it's going to be really good. And then the next week we're going to do vision boards and goal setting for the 2018, because that's literally going to be 2018 in 2 weeks. So
yeah, crazy. We have a ton of really great stuff planned for you guys. And like Jamie said, next week, if you don't know what to do in your business yet, come here next week and we're going to tell you exactly what to do. And we are going to pound out some work and get you hopefully the Success Club in a day. Okay, I will post this recording, the team page. Thank you guys so much for having on. Thank you, Jamie. That was an awesome call, awesome content. And we will see you guys later. Have a good night.
Bye. Love you guys.